Hello, welcome to another weekly vlog. This week is going to be so busy. It is Monday, and we've got so much planned, including a little vacation. So let's jump into it. All right, friends. Like I said, it is Monday. It is like Monday night, so it's almost 7, but the time change is bringing me back to life because the fact that I'm actually getting light in from the windows at this time of night is chef's kiss. It's perfection. I'm so happy. It is kind of wrecking my sleep schedule, but eh. Anyway, we've got huge plans this week, and I just felt the need to start this vlog on a Monday because I am leaving for a trip on Thursday and coming back on Sunday. And so I wanted this weekly vlog to be the whole week leading up to that trip and including that trip because I think that's just going to be fun. So this is the week before spring break for me. So, spring break is technically next week, but we're doing the trip before just to avoid a bit of spring break traffic. And also, it'll be nice to be able to like hang out at home and actually do things over spring break other than a trip. So, we are going to Las Vegas on Thursday, which is insane that that's in like 3 days. I'm wholly unprepared, but it's fine. I have a pretty normal week leading up to that. So, tomorrow I have to teach, and Wednesday I have to do some genetics work and proctor an exam, which kind of sucks. But um, then we're going to be in vacation mode. When we are in Las Vegas, it's going to be like near 100 degrees there. It's like 95 to 98 for highs, which is insane because right here, right now, the high was 32 today. So it's going to be a little different, but I'm very excited for it. I actually went shopping this weekend a bit and just got some clothes that would be nice to wear for a trip there. I've only been to Las Vegas one other time, and it was for a ballroom dance competition, and we really didn't even leave the hotel. We left the hotel once, and it was to go to a tiki bar and go to Meow Wolf, and then we went straight back to the hotel, and that was like our last day there. So it's gonna be weird going for just fun, but I am really excited. So my boyfriend and I are going with his best friend and his best friend's family and a couple other friends. And it's just going to be really fun. March Madness is going on, so we're going to watch some basketball. I just am requiring that we all put our butts in a pool at one point because I am going to take advantage of the weather that is there. And I haven't gotten the opportunity to swim for months now because it was winter. And so I'm excited to soak in some sun and be in a pool for a minute. So that's my only plan. Other than that, we really don't have anything like set in stone planned. It's a pretty short trip, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be a nice little brain break. And yeah, so we've got that to look forward to this week. And I'm excited that you get to come with on that. So that's what we've got going on in the future. But I did have some updates for right now. I finished a book yesterday. I wasn't vlogging yesterday. I took a few days off so that this vlog could start Monday and just be the week of the trip. But yesterday I did finish a book. I was listening to a love song for Ricky Wilde and finished that yesterday, and I liked it a lot. So I've seen some mixed reviews on it. I ended up reading this book because I wanted to uh, finish all of the Goodreads challenges for the winter season. They do like seasonal challenge things, and there were 12 of them. And that was the last one that I had to read to achieve all those challenges. So this one was in like a romancy category for Valentine's Day. Like they theme them based on what's going on those months. And I ended up liking it way more than I thought. I'm just not a huge romancy person. All of the other categories kind of filled themselves in with things that I already had on my TBR, and it wasn't like a huge deal to go out of my way and get that one last category. And I'm glad that I read the book that I read for it. So, a love song for Ricky Wilde. Ricky is the main character. She is sort of the black sheep of her family. She has ambitions beyond what her family does for business. They run a funeral home business, and all of her sisters did the same thing, but she has this really big passion for flowers and wanted to start a flower shop. And so she ends up doing that, and in the meantime ends up meeting this man that's a bit mysterious, and there's some things that get pieced together throughout. But the love story I thought was beautiful, and I also just really like when side characters to a story are well developed, and I feel like this book did a really great job developing the other characters that were involved. Ricky gets a friend and just sort of like a grandma figure in the book, and both of them I just fell in love with. And yeah, I really liked how the story unfolded. So I ended up rating this book 4 stars, and I am anxious to read more by this author. There's another book that is pretty popular by this author called 7 Days in June, I believe, and I am looking into reading that one as well now because I did enjoy this one so much. So that's my book update. I am still reading the book that I started in the previous vlog. I started Isola, and I am not that far, to be honest. Let me look. 17% of the way through. The reason I got this book, I should have probably done a bit more research on my end. It is what it is. But the reason I got this book, or put a hold on it through Libby, not bought. I wouldn't buy a book that I knew nothing about. But anyway, the reason I got it is because I was obsessed with Wild Dark Shore. And when I finished reading Wild Dark Shore, I went straight to the interwebs and said, books to read if you loved Wild Dark Shore. And I popped up on some Reddit thread, and this was recommended. However, I don't think it's doing what that book did. Not feeling the same feels. Doesn't even seem like it's in the same like genre of stuff. I don't know. It's kind of boring if I'm being honest. I'm gonna give it a bit more time to see how the story sort of develops. I feel like it's all been sort of set up to this point for like the actual story that's to come. But yeah, I'm bored. So that's not great. I'm for sure not going to read this in Vegas. So honestly, should I just DNF it? You might have talked me into DNFing a book. I might. There's too many good books to read ones that are just crappy. But if this ends up being like Wild Dark Shore, I'm going to be mad that I didn't read it. But I'm not vibing with it. I usually give books more of a chance though. Maybe I'll read it again tonight and then switch gears tomorrow if I don't like what I read tonight. But anyway, I'm looking over there because that's where my bookshelf is, and I'm seeing if any book is like screaming read me, because I could be convinced. So I don't know. We will see. But I am excited to get into some reads that I have picked out for spring. I think I will probably make like a spring TBR video when I probably at like the beginning of April. I'll make like a seasonal TBR that goes through what months, like April, May, June. And then figure it out from there. But I can't work in like super long time frames, so we'll see. But there are a lot of books that I'm curious to read soon. I really want to read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I really want to read the mystical cat shelter, which I believe is by the same author. um I want to read Private Rights. I have like 4 aardvark books that I can't wait to get into, mostly Itch, Tradwife, and Whidbey. Those are like the 3 main ones that I can't wait to read. So honestly, I think we're gonna end up DNFing this. However, that makes me sad because last vlog I made this really cute insert for my Kindle case. Check it out. And it's kind of a bummer that I might not use it. So, it would be nice to have a book on this for my trip, though. So maybe I will consult Libby and see if there's anything that's available on there that I want to read or that's on my physical TBR so that we can knock it off, and do that on here so that I can travel with this instead of a big book. That would be ideal, honestly. So yeah, that's where we're at in reading world, and that's really all the updates I got for you. Last night I did paint my nails and they're stunning. I forgot what this polish is called. Let me go check. Okay, so the nail polish that I used last night is called Root of All Evil by Mooncat. In the bottle, it looked like a different polish that I had ordered, and I was a little worried about it. So this is one of my newer polishes. I ordered it a few weeks ago, and when it came in, it looked identical to a different polish that I had by them, but it is very different. So it's hard to tell with different lightings, but it's a very like pretty maroony color, and then like the shimmer on it is like greeny blue. So pretty, and I like it a lot. I will probably change my nails out before our trip, so I'm gonna have to decide what I want to do for that. I'll pick out my outfits and see what I can get that sort of goes with all of them. So yeah, but overall, I'm just excited. I am glad to kickstart this vlog. These are the weeks that make me so happy that I started vlogging because I'm so excited that years down the line, I can look back on what it was like to go on this trip. So, thank you for being here, and I'm so excited for this week with you. All right, I'll see you later. Hello, vlog. It is Wednesday now. Yesterday was my big teaching day. It was also the last teaching day before spring break, which officially starts next week. But since I'm taking my trip this week, I still get the full spring break, which is kind of nice. But the lab that I taught yesterday is arguably my least favorite of the whole semester. And the fact that that's the last time I'm ever going to have to teach that lab is so exciting. It was a renal system lab, so the students had to do like a urinalysis on their own sample. Yeah, not my favorite lab to be in. Or to have to like make sure that they're following all of the safety and cleaning protocols. But yeah, anyway, done with that, and today I still have a pretty busy day. I am leaving for my trip tomorrow. So not only do I have trip prep because I haven't packed a single thing or really thought about packing or getting the house ready to leave at all, but I have to proctor an exam today for like the lecture section of the lab that I teach. We have to proctor those big exams because there's like over 300 students in the class. So they use our help as TAs to proctor that and make sure that everyone is not cheating and has help when they need it and stuff like that. So I have that in about an hour, and then after that I have to run over to the genetics lab and I'm going to learn how to send all my samples off. And after I learn how to do that, I don't think I'm actually going to be sending any of them off today because I just don't really have time, and you have to like notify the company that you're sending them in advance a bit, and I haven't done that, but I just need to learn how to do it and figure out like what equipment and what like I don't even know how to describe it. I just have to figure out like what things go in each of the little plate things that I send off for the genetics. And so I have someone that's going to show me how to do that today. And then after that, I am getting like some coffee. Maybe we're going to a coffee place to meet up, but I don't actually know if I'm gonna have coffee or not there. But I've never been to the coffee shop. Going there with a couple friends, so it'll be a new coffee shop for me, which is kind of fun. And we're gonna go there just to catch up. It's some of my old dance friends, so it'll be nice to catch up with them. And yeah, after that, I'm gonna have to come home and pack and get the house ready to go. Um, yeah, it's a lot to do in not a whole lot of time because we leave in like 24 hours, pretty much exactly. So, yeah, I am excited. I am low key kind of terrified because it's going to be like 100 degrees in Las Vegas when we are there later this week. But I'm excited for having a trip and for getting out of town a bit. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to get going with my day. But I did first want to update you on the book that I'm reading. So when I was on here Monday, I was reading a book on my Kindle. I was reading Isola. And I'm no longer reading that because I just was so bored. It was putting me to sleep at night. Couldn't I just didn't really care about anything that was happening so far. And that's where I was like, all right, we're going to DNF it, which I almost never DNF books. But yep, called it quits on that one. So I'm kind of excited about that because I started last night Girl Dinner. I've only read like 15 or so pages, like have hardly started this, but this was an Aardvark book box pick. It was in like the first box I ever got. And I think it's going to be just a fun, snappy, quick read, honestly. And that's what I wanted. I've been reading a lot of books with like very like prose heavy, slow paced books. And I think that this will have like the humor and the faster paced kind of writing that I need right now, especially going on a vacation. And I am excited because a lot of the chapters are really short. So I think that's also nice for going on a trip because I can read a couple pages, put it down, go do something. Like it's not, I don't have to tie myself down and read a whole long time to be able to get to a good stopping point. So that's my current read. I also started an audiobook yesterday. I started People We Meet on Vacation, and I'm having fun with that. I have another audiobook that should be ready because I zoom through audiobooks when I'm at like an airport or traveling, things like that. So I have a feeling People We Meet on Vacation will not last me very long on this trip. So, and I listened to like 25% of it yesterday, if not more. So I'll probably also listen to about 25% of it today because I have to drive around and like waste time doing random little things today. So I'll probably have some good audiobook time. So I did put a hold a long time ago for Dear Debbie, which is the most recent Frida McFadden book. And that should be available within like it says like the next 2 weeks. I suspended the hold for it last week and then I unsuspended it yesterday and it said like I should get it soon. So hopefully I get it soon and can read that after I finish People We Meet on Vacation. I've listened to a decent amount of Emily Henry books now, and I am really liking the start of this one. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I really wanted to watch the is it TV show or movie, whatever it is on Netflix that they made for it. So I think it'll be fun to have that read, and it's kind of a cheesy time to read it when I'm also going on vacation. So what can I say? I'm kind of cheesy. So that's why I did it. And yeah, so that's all I've really got for you right now. I need to go proctor that exam. I will probably, if I remember to, try to take some clips of the coffee shop that I end up going to later because I'm excited to try a new place out. And then um, maybe I'll show you some packing stuff later. If not, I will likely see you at an airport or something like that soon. So, bye. vlog. Welcome back to Arkansas. I didn't really get to like vlog in Vegas, just it was a group trip, lots of people, and it is what it is. But I had a blast there. Honestly, the trip wasn't long enough. I wanted to be there like a couple more days just to be able to do and see more things, but it was so much fun. We got super lucky and just were able to fit in a bunch of fun things, and the group that we were with was it was really easy to like break into separate groups and do things that you were really interested in doing, so I was really happy about that. Yeah, I don't know, I guess I uh some of my highlights, we had a lot of fun on Fremont Street the night that we got there. So our plane got there at like 1 p.m. And so we had like the whole day. And we went to Fremont Street, which is actually insane. But it was one of those things that like you just kind of have to do if you're there, I guess. And um it was fun just to like wander around, have fun, like bet a little bit, and um, just hang out. And then on Friday, so that was Thursday, and then Friday, what did we do? We were in a sports book like all day. So um, the we went with like my boyfriend's best friend's family, and it's March Madness, and so they booked a sports book. So basically what that is you just sit in a room and watch sports, which we got to watch March Madness all day, and sports bet whatever. I That's not usually my cup of tea, but I love watching the games. And so it was really fun to hang out in there all day. And I got to keep like my wristband that I got from there to be able to put in my journal for that, which was really fun. And then that night, we ended up going to a like dubstep show at a club, which was one of my like kind of Vegas bucket list things, was going to a club, just because we were in Arkansas. There, it's not the clubbiest place in the world, and I like to dance, so we had a blast doing that. We saw Ray Volpe, which was great. Yeah, super fun show. Didn't really take a lot of videos or anything, but um, had a really good time. Also, this is absolutely not sponsored. I do not have enough followers or anything like that for this, but I got Loops earplugs for Christmas, and it cannot recommend them enough because they saved my life on the plane, they saved my life in the hotel room sleeping, they saved my life at that concert, at the club, because I get really, really overstimulated, and Vegas is one big overstimulation. That's all it is. And having them at that club was life saving. So, highly recommend if you get overwhelmed in situations like that, but you want to go experience those things, get yourself a pair of good earplugs, because the ones that I have are like the loop switches, and they switch between like noise canceling experience, which is for like shows or just like everyday use. So if you just get overstimulated on the daily, like grocery shopping or stuff like that, you can wear them then. And you can, honestly, I could hear everyone talking to me very, very well at the concert, but like no one could hear me without their, well, like because they didn't have earplugs in. So I felt like my experience with a group of people was better, and also watching the show because my ears weren't hurting or anything like that. So highly recommend that. But that's what we did Friday. And then Saturday was pool day, which was like my thing that I wanted to do the most. So the last time that I went to Las Vegas, and the only other time I've been there, was for a ballroom dance competition. And to say that we hardly left the ballroom is an understatement. Like, we left the hotel once. We were kind of stuck in ballroom dance mode the whole time, and when you ballroom dance you have to have an obscene fake tan, and so pool life was just not going to work, and so we didn't get to swim when I was there last time. It was 98 degrees this week in Vegas, and so we swam, and it was beautiful, and I was so happy. So yeah, we hung out by the pool for like 5 hours that day, just hanging out and swimming and reading and sitting on the lounges. It was just the best time. So we did that on um Saturday morning and like afternoon, and then that night we got like a big group dinner, like everyone went. There's 8 of us total, and we all went to Din Tai Fung, which was the best meal I've had in my life. I don't know how to explain how good this food was. Um Basically we did like a family style, so um my boyfriend's best friend's sister was in charge, and she basically ordered everything for the table, and we got dumplings and pot stickers and noodles and fried rice and short ribs and beans and broccoli. It was beyond amazing. And the dessert was like little chocolate filled dumplings that you dip in like a, it's almost like a cold foam. Stunning. Best thing I've ever ate. I am going to dream about that meal for like a long time. The beans were my other favorite thing. So the pot stickers, I am a order pot stickers as a meal type of person when I go to any kind of like Asian restaurant. Those are the best pot stickers I've had in my life. The pot stickers, the green beans were the best beans I've ever had in my life. And then that dessert I will dream about forever. It was literally just amazing. So that was Saturday night. And then we actually had to catch a flight um, Sunday morning at 6 a.m. was our flight. So we all went to bed after our dinner, um, and packed, and then had to get up at 3 to be at the airport. Um, our airport experience was actually fine. We didn't have any of like the big problems that are happening literally today. I've seen videos of people that are like waiting 7 hours in TSA lines, which is ridiculous. We should just pay them. But it's not where we're at in this country right now, and it's really frustrating. However, I'm thankful that we were able to get home without um any big issues. So yeah, thankful to be back. We After we got back at like 11 to like maybe 12 yesterday, and then slept for like 5 hours after getting home. And then today we've just been taking it easy, trying to sort of get back to a regular schedule. We just got back from like a teeny tiny grocery store run, things like that. And I have to organize some stuff for working tomorrow. So I'm about to do that. I'm also going to print off with my Instax mini printer, going to print off a bunch of photos from the trip. So maybe after this footage, I'll show like a little collage of me putting together some memories from the trip. Um, I also need to journal, but um, I just don't have like my head wrapped around what I want that journal spread to be. So it's for the whole of last week. So I finished a book and had that trip that are all going to be on that journal spread. And so I might start messing around with that tonight, but also I'm not super sure. Um, if I do get to that, I'll put in some footage. So maybe you'll see me later, or maybe this will be the end. But either way, I had such a fun week, and I'm glad I got to show you snippets of it along the way. Hello, this is editing Cameron. So, even though I sort of ended the vlog prior to this, I had to come back on because I realized I didn't tell you how my reading went while I was away. So, I did finish one book while I was on vacation. I finished People We Meet on Vacation. Very, fitting for the circumstances. I basically started that before I left and was loving it. And then I had like half of it to listen to while I was traveling. And I did end up finishing it the day that we went to Vegas. And so I listened to half of that book on the plane and chilling in the airport, stuff like that. And I rated it 3 stars. You guys, I just think it was super corny. Like, I don't know. That was like set up to be such a good book. Like in the first like 20-ish%, I was like, all right, let's do this. Like, this is gonna be good. And pretty much the entire last half, I was rolling my eyes like over and over and over and over and over again. So it just didn't really work for me. Romance as a genre, like as a whole, I don't consider myself like a huge fan of. Just even though I consume a decent amount of it, it's not like my go-to thing. Usually just like general fiction is more my cup of tea, and like thrillers and horror books. But I have enjoyed some Emily Henry books. This was my least favorite. I thought in the beginning that it was going to be my favorite. It wasn't. So came on here to tell you that. I guess I think the most off-putting thing to me was that like these people have been in each other's lives for like an eternity and they just can't talk. And it's just kind of really annoying. I don't know. I just thought like the whole thing was very corny. So if you like that kind of cornball, people have known each other for forever and it's just never worked out and was like friends to lovers type of deal that's just never panned out right, go for it. I do think I'm still gonna watch the Netflix show though, so I'll see if I like that more. But I can see liking that a little bit more, just as like a goofy fun time, not as like a super serious show or anything. But yeah, that's my thoughts on books. And then on my plane ride home, I started Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. And I'm also hating that. Partway through the plane ride, it just stopped playing off of Libby. Don't really know what that was all about. But because of that, I'm only like 30% of the way through. But yeah, that's... Book world is not going my way right now. My physical book right now is Girl Dinner, and I didn't really read a ton of that while I was away. Got like 50 pages in, which I didn't expect to have a ton of time to read, but I am like the type of person that has to bring them. And the other thing that I wanted to pop in here and show you before I left was I printed out some Polaroids from the trip, and I just think this is the coolest way to like look back on memories from a trip, and I'm so excited that I was able to do this. So yeah, I had a blast, was just really happy that I got these printed. I think I'm going to try to buy some like fridge magnets that hold these to be able to have a bunch sort of up on the fridge. I think that'd be really cute. Otherwise, I've seen people like make like a gallery wall on their fridge, but I don't know if that would look dorky with like the Polaroids. I don't know. I'm gonna do some research, figure out a good way to hang these that'll be cute and like display them so that I can see all my memories from my trip and just like from home. I also printed off a picture of my cats because I mean, look at them. Maybe you can see them. That's this Bee and Cricket. Cricket's the white cat, Bee's the tortie, but yeah, love them. So I just was printed off pictures and yeah, had such a fun time doing that, and I am excited to be able to do this for more trips and more memories. So yeah, that's all I've got for you officially. So now I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for watching this little vacation vlog, and I will see you in the next one. Stay cozy.